guys, so today I'm going to give you a few training tips, just a few little bits just to help you out with your training, maybe make some changes to help you grow a bit of muscle. So firstly, number one tip that I can give to people is you need to make progressive change to your training. So I see so many guys and girls coming in the gym week after week, month after month, and they do the same things every time, lift the same weights, same techniques, and they wonder why they're not growing, they wonder why they're not changing. So if you do the same thing and nothing changes, why do you think if you carry on doing that anything's ever going to change? It's not. So the number one tip that I can give to people is make progressive change within your training. So this might be changing how many reps you do, changing the weight, changing the exercises that you do. The biggest and easiest way that I do this is just by adding a small amount of weight to your lifts each week. So for instance, you might train your legs one week and you might put 60 kilos on the bar, and you might be able to do 10 reps with that. Next week try and do 11, next week try and add just 1 or 2 kilos, small plates to that bar, and your body will recognise it, it will grow. Secondly, the thing that I see a lot of people doing is they'll do the typical pyramiding up in weights, but they'll take it to failure from step one. So if you're lifting, say for instance 25 kilos, but it's light, it feels light to you on dumbbell press, and you take that to failure, you then do the same with 27.5 kilos, you take it to failure, and it still feels light. By the time you get around to the set that's going to create some growth, so it might be 35 kilo dumbbells, you're too exhausted, you've depleted your glycogen stores, your ATP's gone, you can't get that muscle to contract like it should have done if you would have just gone from that weight from the off basically. So second biggest tip I can give you is warm up with a light weight. So say for instance you can squat 100 kilos, warm up with a plate aside, get a bit of blood into the area, get it ready to be trained, but don't go anywhere near failure on it. That set is not going to make you grow. Go for the 100 kilos on your second set, take it to failure. The next week you come back to this, rotate back to this exercise, just put a kilo or two on either end to try and add another rep on. Consciously think about what you're doing, write it down. So write down that lift that you got 8 reps with last week, beat it, get 9 the next time. This is what's going to create the adaptive process within your body. It's what's going to keep it guessing, it's going to make it grow. So that's my second biggest tip. Thirdly, stay away from the tiny little exercises on the small muscle groups. If you're trying to build size and you're a beginner, hell even advanced, I see so many guys that think that focusing on the triceps with push downs, with single arm push downs with a cable is going to make them grow. It's not. This should be a finishing exercise. Put your energy, put your focus into your big lifts, your compound movement. So if you're trying to build a big chest, you're not going to do that with cable flies. It's not going to happen. You need to be putting your focus and your energy into your pressing movements. And again, like I said, warm up with a lightweight, then move into your heaviest set. Really put your energy into the sets that are going to make you grow, not into the ones that are just going to tire you out from the off. So stay away from small exercises. If you're trying to build big arms, pressing movements, heavy barbell curls. If you're trying to build a big chest, again, pressing movements, legs, get under a squat rack, leg press. Leg extensions, I see people doing 15, 20 sets of leg extensions and I think that's a leg workout. Leg extensions are not going to make you grow. They are not going to do anything. Great finishing exercise and they're fantastic for driving blood into the area, fantastic to pre-exhaust with, but they're not going to make you grow. So focus on your big lifts. And finally, hit a body part more often. I see people so often think that once I've hit a body part once in that week, it needs a week to recover. They think, oh my God, I'm going to overtrain. I'm going to regress, I'm going to go backwards, all my hard work in the gym is just not going to pay off. It's not like that. There's been so many studies done that have highlighted the fact that a muscle, as a natural athlete, is fully recovered within 48 to 72 hours as long as your nutrition is on point. It's fully recovered in 2 to 3 days. So if you're hitting a body part once a week, you're missing out on another growth cycle, potentially 2 growth cycles. So that means you could have had 2 more opportunities during that week to grow that muscle. So hit it more often. The way I do this is I'll sort of do a push, pull and a leg session. So this means that on Monday I'll do all my pressing movements, on a Tuesday I'll do all my pulling movements, and then on a Wednesday I'll hit my legs. Thursday, day off, recover, regenerate, and then back to it on Friday. I'll rotate back around. Different exercises, but I'll rotate back to them body parts again. So that means I'm hitting that body part twice in 1 week, so I'm getting 2 cycles of growth rather than 1. As long as your nutrition's on point, as long as you're recovering, it's fine. And DOMs, again, so many people relate DOMs, so delayed onset muscle soreness, to the fact that they're not recovering or they've worked a muscle group hard. if you're getting DOMs for any longer than 1 or 2 days, your recovery is bad, it's poor. So many people relate DOMs to training hard. It doesn't mean that you're training hard, it means your body's undergoing a change and it's not recovering from it. So, for instance, now, it doesn't matter how hard I train, I very rarely get anything more than a very slight muscle soreness for a few 12 to 24 hours and it's gone. I'm not crippled by training anymore like I used to be, because my body's got used to the process, it realises how to recover, I've got the correct nutrition in place. So DOMs, contrary to popular belief, guys, is not an indicator of that you've trained well, you've trained hard, or even recovery. I've calves in particular, I train them nearly every other day, and even then they're recovered within 12 to 24 hours, but even if they were slightly sore, I'd still train them. It's not an indication of that I can't go back and train it again. Obviously if it's crippling pain, yeah, it's going to stop me, but it never is. So DOMs, again, is not a major indicator of that you're growing or you're training particularly hard. So yeah, the main tips are to stay away from your small exercises if you're trying to put on muscle. Compound exercises, focus on your lifts that you can put a lot of weight into and move it often. Do it 2 or 3 times a week, hit that muscle group more times. And thirdly, recovery, like I said, try and train. You don't have to do my training style, that's not necessary, but just focus on hitting that body part a couple of times a week. So they're my major tip, guys. So stay in with the big movements, hit them movements more often, but if you're going to do that, reduce your overall training volume, obviously because your weekly volume's gone up. And stay away from thinking that DOMs is the primary indicator that you've trained hard. You know, focus on eating right, training hard, and progressing your lifts, and that's as simple as it is. People overcomplicate bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is a sport that has been turned into such a science. There's all these gurus out there that, yeah, brilliant, some of them are fantastic and they know the in-depth things, but for normal people, all you need to know is just that you need to progress your lifts, you need to eat enough food to be in a calorie surplus, recover that muscle group, and just repeat that cycle. Simple as that. So just progress your lifts, eat food, eat clean food, and just progress your lifts and recover, and you'll be fine, you'll keep growing, and that's how easy it is. So don't overcomplicate things. So thanks for listening, guys. See you soon.